So we have all of these vines and practically no sweet potatoes. I'm really disappointed, like beyond disappointed, because we've done everything we needed to do, except we didn't prune them back. And I refuse to believe that makes this much of a difference. I believe the problem was with our supplier this year. We changed up, and I will not be doing that again. But this is not going to be a complete waste. As you may have seen in some of our posts from Instagram, we have taken some of our previous harvest of leaves and taken them indoors and continued rooting them. And we have got extensive roots on some of those indoors, which I'll show you when I get indoors. And these I'll be showing you how to clip them and propagate more vines. We will be using these until the frost for feed for the rabbits, and haven't tried giving them to the chickens, but they are safe for the chickens as well. So stay tuned and we'll show you how to do that. As we were gathering up the vines, I noticed this and I wanted to show you before we got indoors, where the lighting may not be as good. So this is a vine, and it was running horizontally on the ground, obviously, like so, like that. All right. So each one of these little sections here have put down roots, right? So when it comes to you rooting, you can choose to try to cut here, cut that leaf off, and then submerge this whole extent into a jar or bucket, whatever you have. But if you don't have something quite as large, you could also snip here and here on either side of this root node here. So I'm talking about snipping here and snipping here. So you'll just have this segment here with the root already established, and this would be what you would put in the ground. Now, when you get sweet potato slips in the mail, this is what you're getting. These little segments, kind of like this. So obviously we know that this will work and it will root just fine. The key is to get it done quickly enough to where you don't have any serious damage to those existing roots. So from this one vine, I could do one here, I could do one here, I could do one here. Whoop. There's already a root forming there, so I can do that one. There's a root forming there, but there's no leaf, so that may be successful, but it's a good chance it wouldn't be. And there's another I could do, already forming a root. Another. And these here, let me put it up against my pants, maybe you can see better. You can see they have nodes. There are nodes. You see little dark spots there. Those are nodes where roots were forming or getting ready to come out. I'm pretty sure, not 100%, that if we were to cut the same way, we could also get roots there as well. So, oh, it's a hummingbird. I wonder if I can I get him for you? Oh, he's on the other side of those vines. Let me see if he'll come up for you guys. Oh, they're so fast. Anyway, but yeah, so let's get indoors. It's hot. Okay, so these are our existing sweet potato vines that we brought in about 10 days ago, I guess. I'd have to look back and see for sure, but initially it was about 3 jars that we brought in, and it's very easy and simple to do, just literally snipping them and sticking them in mortar. I didn't participate much in this. This is an assignment that I delegated out to my daughter, and she took care of most of it for me. I helped towards the end, but She chose to do it that secondary way I told you, where you could just literally choose a spot on the vine, snip it, cut the leaves off, and put the stem in water. So she did it the long way, where most of the ones I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be doing the short way. I've already done a batch, and after cutting, this is what it will look like. So remember, these stems are growing up this way off the main vine that was going this way, and I just chose a segment and cut that off. This is the end that will go in water, right? So if I wanted to, I could just take this, stick it in water, and just keep it alive until I wanted to feed it to the rabbits. But my goal is to propagate and to get more growth to continue to sustain the feed for as long as possible. Okay, so when the roots start to come on, this is what they're going to look like. Let's get one out for you. So that's what your roots will look like. These are nice, healthy roots. This area here is it's a sunny window in our living room. We don't always have this open depending on how hot it is, which it has been really hot lately. But this lamp does offer some light as well. But I wasn't really concentrating on trying to get growth at this point. I just wanted root establishment. Now, of all the jars that we had, we've narrowed. We had 3 jars about the same size. Not all quite as full, but a lot of those other ones died off, or they just didn't look as good, and so I removed them and took them and tossed them, or either fed them to the rabbits. And this is what's left from that first harvest that we did. Now that we have good established roots on these, I'm going to feed them. I'm going to feed them with a mix of kelp and fish emulsion. I'm going to just put a couple of drops in this water, and then I'm going to put them under our grow lights. And then about a week later, we'll be getting them hardened off and into the soil, into a pot outside, so that I can have a better control over the growth instead of them going crazy like they did before. I was curious on these sweet potato vines because they are past the time that they should have flowered and past the time that they should have died back, and instead of doing any of that, they've just continued to sprawl all over the place, despite the fact that we have treated with bone meal, eggshells, you know, all the things that roots would need to grow sufficiently. It just hasn't happened. So I've got this beautiful mess to deal with, and we're going to show you real quick how to get that done. Got a little bit of damaged spot right there, but that's okay. We wouldn't need that spot anyway. So I'm going to cut, and this is the leaf connected to that. That is the root. So I'm going to cut above. I'm going to cut below. And this is what will go in the water. This goes to the rabbits. All right. And then we just repeat all the way down the vine. Okay. See the root there? And you may not have as much root as I have on this particular vine. A lot of the ones I did earlier just barely had a node, but that's fine. Snip, rabbits. And this goes into your water. And this one here, you see, also has root nodes. And you see the root node there? All right, just snipping, and I'm gonna cut a little bit of that off. Don't necessarily have to, but I'm going to. And that's the process, guys. I'm gonna work at this, and once I have them all done and jarred up, I'll be back. Y'all, I'm tired. I didn't think that just like going through some vines could tire me out the way that I am tired right now. Like, you can tell that it's just because I'm recovering from being sick for like a week. So yeah. So I've got so many more than I thought that I had. I'm contemplating just throwing that in the compost. That's how tired I am right now. But I have this batch here, right? And then up here on the sofa, yes, on the sofa. Oh Lord, all these here, and that's like probably 3 jars full between. Yeah, that's about 3 jars. So, what I'm trying to do right now, as I notice they're getting pretty wilty, which they'll perk right back up, most of them. What I'm going to do, or what I've done here, is I've kind of gathered ones that are like height or length. And these I'm going to go ahead and stuff into a jar, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of the ones we have here, just because I said they're getting wilty and I don't want to stress them out too bad. So let me see if I can do this one-handed here. Ooh, okay, get them down in there. It's always that one. Get down. All right. Okay. All in. And so that's quite a few in there. I'm gonna put this one in here that fell out. Get it down in there. That's quite a few in there. I'll take that over to the sink, get it filled up, and then I'll get the remaining ones also filled up as well and packed in their jars. Okay, I am done. I am done. We ended up with total of 4 jars this time, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I wasn't counting on it being that much. As you go through and you're pruning and cutting your pieces off, there's always going to be pieces that are too small or that have too much damage from, harvesting them, because, we're not gentle with them or anything. Or maybe there's too much bug damage or whatever, but I was a lot more available to be used than I anticipated. Our largest jar is this one here. This is, can I pick that up with one hand? It's a pretty large jar. Oh, these pineapple coconut spears from Sam's are amazing, by the way. I got those just for the jar. You can't really tell how cute the jar is right now because of all the roughage in there. But yeah, so that's done. They are going to sit there until close to 2 weeks probably. As you can see, I filled them all the way up to the rim. Like, these guys are going to be really thirsty. By tomorrow morning, that water level will probably have dropped to here or maybe even further down. But yeah, they're going to be really thirsty the first couple of days, which is why I didn't have any problem filling them that far up. Now, if you're going to be watching yours like a hawk, you may consider just putting your water level to, maybe right there. My life gets busy, I forget things, and I kind of try to prepare ahead for knowing that I'm going to forget something. So fill it all the way to the rim. These are their shorter vines. There were some longer ones, and I'll show you those. And we have our other vines that had already rooted under the grow lights. Let me show you that, and I'll also show you the fertilizer that we're going to be using. Okay, so this is the fertilizer that I got. And when I ordered it, I did order it off of the Home Depot website. For some reason, I could have sworn it was Omri listed, but I did not find such labeling on the packaging when I got it. So of course, you know, that means researching and then reading details on the labeling. As far as the ingredients go, all the things that are on the ingredients are organic ingredients, so I'm comfortable using it. I also love this little note. This is a wonderful fertilizer, but a really terrible drink. Please be kind to children and pets, and store this fertilizer in a cool, dry place. I thought that was funny. Okay, so I've been experimenting with it on potted plants only. So it seems like potted plants, because they don't have the natural earth, it's harder to create and keep a natural flow of life in that soil. And so the molasses is really good for helping sustain that, which is what drew me to it. You could also just use regular molasses. I'm sure there's plenty of recipes out there, but I'm just going to pour a little bit of this in with our sweet potato vines here. And I'm sure they'll appreciate the little boost. Does not smell great. Oop. Well, it's probably more than I should have done. I hope they don't die. Okay, so that's that. Let's go out a little bit so you can see. So the grow shelves are pretty empty right now. Having been sick, we had to really just stop our microgreen production for a minute, and those are the last ones that we harvested. They would have been for customers, but because of the situation, we harvested them for us. I have a few plants here that are trying to get leggy on me, so hopefully I can get those out pretty soon. But this light will be sufficient to give these a good strong boost, and hopefully with that fertilizer they'll be nice and strong within about a week. So the hope is that within about 2 weeks, when these other ones should have good, nice, strong root systems, that these will have nice, healthy new growth and strong enough to be transplanted into pots and into soil to start hardening off. So stay tuned for that. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do this as one whole video or separate, but real quick, I need to show you the other jar. Okay, so here's the long vines, and I was just telling my daughter how poetic this picture is, because I love plants and I love coffee, so how fitting that I have them together. So I think because the vines are longer, the water has further to travel. It's taking these a little bit longer to perk up. Like, they look better than they did when I first put them over here, obviously, and some of them are perfectly fine. Like this one here is just beautiful, but others are kind of pathetic looking still, like that. So I'll keep an eye on it. I'll check it probably before I go to bed tonight, and if there's some that are still looking bad, I may just go ahead and pull them out and make room for others, or just leave them until in the morning. And that clock is definitely not right. It's not 5 in the morning. So yeah, that is all of them. So let me explain to you the reason why I'm going through all of this, instead of just pulling these vines and throwing them in the compost, or pulling them and just throwing them to the rabbits, or just throwing them to the chickens. Why am I doing this? Come on, let's have a seat. Okay, so when it comes to these fantastic plants, there are some things that I have taken into consideration as I've researched over the years. Number one, these leaves are far more beneficial when it comes to health benefits over their root counterpart. I can't remember the exact number. That in itself is something to consider when it comes to thinking about ingesting these for health, but also they are known to taste well. Considering that they grow well in the heat and they taste well, somewhere between spinach and Swiss chard, according to what I found online, that's also something to consider. Could we be growing this in the heat of the summer when it's hard to grow other greens? Something to think about. A lot of Asian cuisine calls for sweet potato leaves and the young tender stems. What they usually will saute it with some garlic and some ginger and a little sesame oil, blah, 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 blah. Serve it up as a side. And even I've seen in Congolese dishes where they will take smoked fish. You know, in the South, we usually do smoked turkey or ham in our greens. But in this particular dish that I saw, it was smoked fish, some hot peppers, like Scotch bonnets and habaneros, and peanut butter and palm oil, I believe. So you had all of those things together with a whole bunch of other combinations as well. And they were mixed together into a phenomenal, healthy soup dish. And so it's a lot to think about. I would love to try an authentic recipe from either one of those cuisines. But I've looked at some more Americanized dishes that also seem to be quite tasty. So could I be adding to the things that we can put on our table that are easily grown? Look at the fact that these greens have holes in them, true. But if this were a spinach this time of year, if this were a Swiss chard or any other type of green, it would be decimated. And I say that because these have had no treatment at all for pest. So generally our sweet potato vines don't have any issues, and maybe get some worms towards the end of the season. Grasshoppers have been really bad this year. But besides that, no real issues, as you can see here. I mean, it's August. Look at that. No treatment at all. So imagine how beautiful they would be if I had treated them with BT, if I had dusted them with DE, if I had done anything in the way of pest treatment. They would be perfect nearly. So this could be a green that could hold up for us to the heat in South Alabama, but also to the pest pressure that we also have in our agricultural region. So it's a lot for me to think about. Just getting over being sick, it took me quite a while and several takes to get this right, guys. I realized in one of the versions that I edited out, there was some information I wanted to share. This is it. The other thing is I have found in just researching recently, like just today, this is new, that some old school farmers, what they do is they will buy the sweet potato slips from a supplier, right? They'll plant them. Now tell me if this is new to you. They'll plant them. They will plant them not for sweet potatoes. They will plant them for the vines. They then harvest those vines and replant them for the actual sweet potatoes. Nope. I have not been taught how to farm by an old school farmer. Well, to a degree I have. Let me take that back. Because, I got an old school farmer or two in my pocket that I keep on speed dial. But sweet potatoes has not been one of those things that we've ever talked about. Because it's not something that they grow. So I gotta now go call them and, hey, is this a business? Is this what I should have been doing all along? Maybe it is. And so with this failure, have I accidentally come across a better way for our family in our particular neck of the woods to grow actual sweet potatoes? I don't know. I've already mentioned how much the rabbits love them. I hope to experiment soon with the chickens as we grow more out and see how they appreciate them. I've already researched growing them vertically, as you know, we have limited space here on our little micro farm. We could actually trellis them and grow them in the high tunnel if we wanted to do that, and grow them out for ourselves or the livestock. So this failure for me has opened up a whole new world. Okay, I'm not gonna sing the song, but literally it's a lot to think about, and I'm excited because I don't know which road I may take or we may take as a farm family, but either way we're gonna take this failure and turn it into a measure of success for us. All right, well, I have to get going. I'll plug in clips of the long vines, and we'll catch you on the next video. Oh, wait, if you haven't subscribed, be sure you do that now, okay? Catch you later. Bye. So it's the next morning, and I was getting up to make my coffee, and look at how vibrant this plant is. Oh, there's a couple of leaves there that are not plumped up. I wonder if they're all the way down in the water. Oh no, that particular branch just got damaged, so I'll just see it got damaged right there. It bent, so I'll just snip that off, but the rest of it is fine. So yeah, all the leaves and everything have perked up, which means everybody is healthy and everything is doing good. So we'll just keep an eye on it. This corner is a little darker, even with that window there. It's a little darker than I want. So I may get one of my clamp grow lights, just because this corner is dark, and put like right here above the cabinet, and just give this plant a little extra light.